Yes, ready again.
Yes.
Hey everyone, Screen913 here, and welcome to the first War Council for our new, God, we don't really have a cool name for it. We should though, like Clan versus Clan, Shogun 2 Epic Showdown. I want to introduce everyone to my clan of advisors. Oh God, did we ever come up with a name for our clan? That's one thing we need to do tonight.
Well, we were the Mori.
We're the Mori.
No.
No, name for us.
No, a name for us, our clan. We're not the
You
Mori.
know,
The Mori is just the... No, we're the
A catchy
clan.
name that we
Yeah.
call ourselves.
Yeah.
Mori is catchy.
Lame.
So
so
unoriginal.
Yeah.
How about... And it can't be like Squeaganite or Squee something. Something a little less egocentric, please. Maybe like
Be to my ego
the
instead.
Waddling Ducks.
The
Waddling Ducks. The mighty Waddling Ducks.
Why not? It'll strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. We are the Mori, a.k.a. the Waddling Ducks.
Waddle waddle.
We could be the ugly duckling. So,
Ooh.
Well,
I
I
like
guess
that.
the name makes sense. I mean, we can stay by the shore. We can't go out to sea or we'll die. So
That's true. Okay, are we in agreement?
The
Waddling
Waddling
Yep.
The Waddling Ducks?
yes. Sounds good to me.
We are the fearsome Waddling Ducks. Rawr, we should find out how to say that in Japanese, so at least it sounds cool.
Oh,
I'm
to Google Translate.
Yay!
Way.
To Google
Oh,
Translate.
God.
It's horrible, but it'll work, I'm sure.
I mean, at least it'll sound Japanese.
Right? It'll.
okay.
They'll be like,
Finding it.
oh my god. Oh god, what Annex was typing Japanese names. And he was putting like the name and then AKA and then what it translated to, but I was thinking the AKA was part of the name. So I was like you know, the da 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 akas. He's like no aka, that's AKA.
Oh, that name is way too long to be. How can waddling ducklings be so long in Japanese?
Because
Everything's long in Japanese.
How about just ducklings? What is that?
The ducklings were the mighty. How about just waddling ducks? Maybe duckling is a really
Yeah,
long word
yeah.
for some reason.
Let's see. Waddling duck.
These are the important things we must cover in war councils.
squares.
Japanese
It's
now.
shorter. What about just... We could just... Sorry about this. This is
No.
trying to find a combination.
You know what?
as-
I'm going to go to Babelfish and see if they have a different translation.
They may.
Way.
They most likely will, because none of these programs work well.
No, they have some of those little machine translators that do better. It's odd.
Babelfish. Oh, no, I don't need professional. I just need, like, the Yahoo Babelfish, which I shall search for on Google.
So I'm getting a hero no Tsumbutsu. Tsumebutsu.
Sumebutsu? Hey, we can say that. We can say
No,
Sume.
that's one of the words. There's a hero no Tsumebutsu.
A hero no Sumebutsu.
Waddling duckling.
Yeah, what about just ducks? Waddling ducks, not ducklings.
Waddling ducks.
Yeah, because that makes us sound like we're babies. We want to
Um,
because you know waddling ducks it
Yeah.
doesn't sound silly, but waddling ducklings.
No, it doesn't sound silly at all. That would be Sumebutsu Ahiri. Ahiru.
Sumibutsu ahiru. Sure, why
Hiru.
not? That's what we are. So okay, now
I'll
that
put-
we
I'll-
got.
Oh god, I have a friend who speaks Japanese. I should get him in here.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. Maybe later though. Let's go. Okay, we got the name. We got the
Yeah,
waddling ducks.
yeah.
We'll find a cool way to say it later. Maybe we just waddaloo ducku. Like every Japanese person is like screaming racist right now. I'm
They're,
sorry.
they're going to just come to America and just hurt us. They're going to hurt us now.
So, here's the deal. These are my advisors, and for anyone who doesn't know, has not heard about this, I'm not quite sure how. Well, I guess suppose you could be finding this 6 months after it started, and then you wouldn't really know what's going on. The idea was we once did a Third Age Total War campaign where I was the king, and then I had a group of advisors. And these advisors each had say over their department, and they would tell me what to do, and I would try and coordinate all the advisors to run a kingdom. And now we're taking it to the next step, which is where we have a group of advisors versus another group of advisors in a human versus human campaign on Shogun 2. I'm the Shogun for Clan Waddling Ducks. Claude Rebel is the Shogun for Clan. Really, it doesn't matter because they're going to lose. And
That's a terrible name.
I know, right?
Why would they come up with that?
They have no creativity. And we each have our own group of advisors. And to add a little spice to it, all of my advisors are from North America. And all of his advisors are from Britain, Europe, England, that area. So we have a little transatlantic rivalry going on here. So let me go ahead and introduce you guys to my advisors and what they will be in charge of. Of course, I have the... hang on, let me show the Skype. Not girls. What?
What?
I don't know. There's
What?
some advertisement there. Okay. We have Sinoleth, who is the advisor of strategy. This gentleman, his job, his field of expertise, is to direct the armies in battle, to decide what we attack, how we attack it, when we attack it, and what best course of action to take to use the forces that we have at our disposal. So say hi, sir.
Hello.
Then we have Tripap, or basically Master Chief. He is the advisor of construction. His job is to build. He decides what Bushido arts or Chi arts we research. He decides what buildings we build, where we build them, when we build them, and what type of army units we create. So those two advisors are obviously going to be working very closely together because what Sinolith has to work with all depends on what Tripab decides to build. Then we also have Annex, who is my advisor of agents. He is in charge of building and managing spies, Mitsuge, monks, and if we ever get that far, geisha. He is in charge of our spy network. In other words, counterintelligence, keeping them from using their spies against us, and using our spies to hinder them. He has complete say in how they're used, when they're used, and why they're used. Now, obviously, all of this is going to take a vast amount of cooperative work. Obviously, agents are at their best when they're used in conjunction with the army to supplement them, or vice versa, etc., etc., etc. I also have one more. I have an aide, the Duke of Anhalt, and basically his job is, while he doesn't really have final say in any one particular field, while we're running the sessions, once a week, Claude Rebel and I are each going to run the multiplayer session. He will be on a Skype call with me, helping me not only carry out the advisor's wishes, but also basically just run the battles. He's like another set of eyes, another brain to help me do my job better. So we're basically the ones at the helm. Honestly, the way I look at it is it's just someone for me to blame when things go wrong.
I know where you live. I will find you. I have files on everyone.
Now, slightly different than the Third Age campaign, where since it was just humans versus the computer, to add some more challenge, I had made it so that advisors could not give advice to other advisors. In other words, the whole idea was to see how well they could work together without telling each other what to do. This is different because these are humans versus humans, and since we have a much smaller set of advisors, this is going to be much more of a clan meeting. And honestly, I think this is kind of more realistic to the time period, where in Third Age Total War, you might have huge kingdoms where, you know, the advisor of construction may never meet the advisor of strategy, and they may never even come face to face. But in a small clan in Japan, it seems much more likely that the advisors would all get together in one room and sit down and plan strategy, which is exactly what we're going to do here. So every advisor can give advice on any field. It's simply that each advisor has final say in their field. Even I cannot overrule any of my advisors, with the one exception of I control the cash flow.
Money, money, money. Money.
But basically saying, if Annex wants to use an agent in a certain way and I disagree, it doesn't matter. It's his call. So you guys all understand the rules, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that hopefully everyone watching now understands the rules. So let's take some time and and get everyone familiar with what our starting scenario is, where we are, and where to go from here. Alright, Claude Rebel and I have spent over a week preparing this map. It was not easy, because we literally had to take over half the map each, and try and get everything as even as possible. We are the Mori. We're blue in this map. We're technically going to be a brighter red on the actual game map. And Rebel is the Takeda. He is the a darker red on the actual map, but he's the red on this map. We both control exactly 32 provinces. I know it looks a little bit more like Rebel has more land, but that's just because a lot of his provinces cover more territory. We both have the exact same number of provinces. We both have the exact same, well, within, gosh, I think within like 60, is it Kiyu? Kayu?
Koku.
Thank you,
Koku.
Koku. Within 60 Koku, we have the exact same income per turn, which is like 12,200 and something. We have the exact same reserves, which is 290,000 and something, which is an amazing, staggering number. So we basically are starting off with the same level of income. We are starting off with the exact same chi developments, which, God, I don't have a way to show those here. This is going to be very complicated. It's probably going to be better if we can find a time for like, hey, Rebel, just leave it up so that we can do our stuff. or something like that. Or, you know what, actually what I can do is at the end of every session, I can take snapshots of like our chi tree, or this and that. I'll just take extensive snapshots from now on, so that if we need to say, okay, what do we have? Let's just go to that picture.
Sounds good.
And then we all have the same level of chi development, which is, I'd say we have 2/3 of the chi tree done. We have no Bushido arts developed yet whatsoever. That's all going to be left up to the advisor of construction. We have 13 fortresses, and everything else is strongholds. The main reason for this is because the NPCs were building fortresses and strongholds, and there's no way to burn one once you build it. So we have 2 strongholds. Two strongholds in the front lines, basically. One, I believe, in 56, and one, I believe, a little bit further back. We've got 5 strongholds kind of in the middle area, which is on Chosokabe Island and this middle area up here. And then we have, 6 strongholds there. And then we have 5 on the back Shimazu Island. This is trying to mirror his fortresses, which also have 2 in the front, 6 in the middle, and 5 in the back. Everything else is strongholds. We also have several farms that will obviously be compensating our food supply for these fortresses and strongholds. Other than that, we don't have much of anything. We have no dojos. We have no sake dens, Metsuge recruiting, no monk monasteries, no nothing. We have roads, like varying level of roads. Again, you can't destroy roads, so basically what the NPCs has built and what we have. But as far as construction goes, we don't have the ability to produce anything other than Ashigaru spearmen and bowmen, basically. We don't have any ports other than one trade port, which is right here, and that is simply used to replenish our trade route right here, which is there to even out our income levels. It's kind of an untouchable trade route. They can raid it, but they can't kill these ships. It's like a static trade income to keep us equal with them. But other than that, we have no ports, no navy, no army. Every army has been disbanded with the exception of 9 bow units up near the front, simply to keep people happy. Both sides have 9, and that's it. So we are literally starting from ground zero, but just with excessive amounts of money.
Oh, jeez.
So
much money.
Yeah, I know. So that's the basic start. This is how it's going to go. One more thing we should point out. We are playing as the Mori, which their advantage is ships. Their ships are slightly better. They have slightly more troops, and I believe slightly better damage than other ships. Rebels playing as the Takeda, which have slightly better cav than other clans. And that's pretty much it. I think the best thing to do right now is to... well, before we get started, there's one thing I want to lay out there. One big overall plan or thing that I want everyone to consider when they're doing this is misdirection. I really don't want the enemy to know what we're doing until we absolutely have to do it. This goes for agents. This goes for military as well. In other words, I want to, whenever possible, whenever time will permit, I want to move all our forces in roundabout routes. I don't want to beeline it to our objective. I want to meander a little bit so that any spies that can see them, whether they're there or not, we should always assume they have spies somewhere. We'll not know what our target is until absolutely necessary. So, in other words, let's say we want to take Province 10. And we're not in a huge hurry. It's not like, we have to hit it this turn or we'll lose it. Instead of marching straight to 10, I want to go around. I want to take our time. I want to confuse them as to what our actual objective is. If we want to hit it somewhere with the Navy, maybe go down the different direction first. I don't need to go into more detail. You guys understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The whole goal is to not let them know what we're trying to do until we absolutely have to, so they don't know who to reinforce, where to reinforce, or how to reinforce it. This counts for agents. I want as much as I can, or as we can, annex, to destroy their spy network behind our lines. I am probably more concerned with keeping spies out of our territory than getting spies into theirs. Both are very, very important, but I'd much rather them not know what we're doing than we do know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yes, I completely agree with you.
All right. So with that in mind, I just want to open up the floor to basically all of you guys, and let's talk shop. First things first. How do you think we should? You know what? Let's start with this. What do you guys think we really need to be worried about? What do you think they're going to be trying to do?
Get agents out as fast as possible. 5 of each
Yeah.
building.
Agents?
Agents.
We're talking ninjas, Mitsuke. What are we talking here?
Yep, agents.
Oh,
of
so
any
you mean
kind.
like a
monks, Mitsuke, ninjas, just as many of those buildings as we can, kind of in the middle. I think we need those out right away.
No. What are we afraid they're going to do?
What are we afraid they're going to do?
No,
they're
yeah,
going to.
We're trying to figure out basically what we think they're going to do and what our best solutions are to counter this.
I think they're going to do the same thing, try and get agents out quickly, and if they could actually bribe a settlement away early, that would be pretty devastating.
It would be, especially with that kind of income.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll try to like hamper our economy, like take away some of our promises of better materials in it.
Right.
Since we have, what was it, almost 300,000, I think bribes would be really effective pretty early on.
They would be, especially
Since
with no
we don't-
armies.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of military yet, so.
Well,
So like what Sorry.
no, go ahead. You first.
So like what promises would we want to bribe though?
What would we want to bribe? I don't
45. I know there's a gold mine up there. If you want to get that, we can take it away from them and get it ourselves.
45.
Yeah.
Where's
It's
45?
a
45 is
island
the island.
off the coast.
Yeah, but that's going to be really hard to hold. You got to remember, it's not just taking it. We got to hold it.
Well, if we get our navy around there, we could try to stop them from landing troops on it.
We don't have a navy for 4 turns at least.
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
it's
I
not
think-
like
I
we
think-
can't get there.
I think that should definitely be
Long-term goal.
a long-term goal, because I personally think that we're going to do much better by trying to get sea superiority, especially with all our islands.
Yeah, that's a good point. Pretty much finding, or if we know where they are, just targeting any of their rare resources and snagging them away. That would be great.
Here's one thing I want to ask first and foremost, because I want to know what you guys think of this. Are you opposed to, let's say, because we do have the ability to get sea superiority, assuming you guys can teach me how to fight naval battles, because I don't know.
I can try, Squeak. I'm okay.
They're not that hard.
Well, good. You can teach me. But
We'll
let's
try.
say we have the advantage in the sea. Let's say that we can concentrate and we can get sea superiority. Are you guys okay with or opposed to, because this is kind of a not cheap tactic, underhanded. Let's say, for example, landing a massive army in their backfields where they're generally less protected and burning everything to the ground until that army gets destroyed.
Oh,
That's
I'm,
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm for that.
Yeah, the computer does that to me all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're good with this. Some people,
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out there, some people think that's sneaky and underhanded. I completely agree and love the hell out of it.
Yes.
Sneaking
Exactly.
underhanded, it's smart.
I am all about dishonorable tactics in war,
Sweet. All right.
War is not honorable. That died out long ago.
So
pretty much.
here's what I'm thinking overall. If you look at our lands, we have 2 giant islands. One with the land bridge, one with none, I believe. Chosakabe, you need boats to get men to and from, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We are going to need naval superiority. If they get naval superiority, we are dead.
If they get it, I'd be disappointed in the Mori.
Since the Mori have significantly better ships, I don't think that'll be too much of a problem, unless he really, really outmaneuvers you on the battle map.
And
Either
hopefully
outmaneuvers or
not.
outproduces.
Right. And if we can get, honestly, I'm not going to say it's quite this simple, but if we can get and hold sea superiority, I think this is ours.
Yeah. I would say so.
Because
Who controls the sea controls the world.
Because honestly, if we can control the sea, their entire territory is our target, where their only target that they can hit is our front lines.
Mm.
And if those just have a couple agents watching for their agents and a couple stacks sitting there waiting for their armies,
We could basically play the defensive role.
Defensive
just
role
sit on
while-
bridges and stuff, sit in fortresses, maybe build up fortresses along that whole blockade of fortresses right there. Play the defensive role and just keep hitting them from every conceivable angle with ships and amphibious assaults.
And knowing Rebel's tendencies in war, he's very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So he will go for anything.
No,
Oh.
it's not Rebel we have to be concerned about. It's Dantos.
Yes.
Rebel's not really the one calling the shots when it comes to strategy. Just like it's not a matter of what I prefer to do, it's what Sinaleth likes to do.
Yes.
So, and we know less about what Dantos 4 likes to do.
Mm.
from what I've seen, he has a similar playstyle to Rebel, just slightly less aggressive, more agent-based.
Which means we'll have to be very, very careful with his agents. One thing I should point out. Home provinces are off limits. Because we both think it was kind of dumb that, as big as our kingdom is, if you take over my home province, it's automatically over. That was dumb. So, for the time being, consider them just untouchable. We can get everything else around them. I mean, you can burn stuff to the ground and whatnot, but you know what I'm saying. If we take over the home province, it doesn't matter how big or strong they are, we win.
Yep.
And I always thought that was dumb. We could have 2
Bit
provinces
cheap.
left and take their province and we win. So, we've both decided those are off limits.
So the goal of the game would be to take over every province before taking over the home province.
Exactly. The goal of the game, I doubt very seriously it will get to the point where one actually wipes the other off the map. More likely than not, it will get to the point where one side concedes and says, there's no way we can win this now.
Yeah.
But until that point, and if they decide, and if they never die, never surrender, then yes, the last province we will take will be their homeland.
Okay. Makes
Right.
sense.
So, okay, so knowing the way they like to play, and knowing what we said, I really, truly believe sea power is going to be the key here. I mean, it has to be. Otherwise, we can't get reinforcements from Chosakabe or the Shimazu Island without it. In any sort of length of time, anyway.
We
Yep,
will be the
we-
Great Britain of Japan.
Yep. And,
Even more awesome.
And in that sense, I almost think it's more important that we, because for the exact same reason, because they are much harder to hit, I think that maybe Chosakabe and the Shimazu Island should be our cash cows.
That
Yeah.
works.
That makes sense to me.
So,
Yes. The economic engine.
the economic engine of our territories.
Yes.
Then the Shimazu Island will be really well defended too, because 5 of the 8 provinces have fortresses on them. So at least in the early game, it's almost an untouchable objective for Rebel to try and take. Chosakabe only has 2 fortresses on it, but there's only 5 territories on it at all. So,
Yes.
so right now we're basically of the opinion we need to build agents as fast as possible. Maybe try and bribe some territory away. So maybe like 22 or 20 or 40. Is that 42 and 63?
Yeah.
20 is nice and small. 63 is also a pretty good place. 22 looks a little big. He could just run on in from all different sides. I mean, that works.
And in the reverse, let's assume they're trying the same thing. You know what we could try and do, actually? We could, advisor of agents, build a crapload of Mitsuke really quickly.
That was actually my strategy.
Well, hang on. Get a couple of ships, land them at various places in Rebels territory, and start bribing the hell out of things.
We could do that. Try and get some provinces behind his lines.
And we could do one of two things. We could do this with the purpose of trying to hold them, or do this, burn them to the ground, and basically just give them havoc. Yeah, behind their enemy lines.
Yeah,
If
because
you-
he's going to have to pull back troops to take those territories back. Which is
If
going to
we
make it
man-
way easier to defend our front line.
Mm-hmm.
If we manage to get a Metsuke, like, in the middle, where they're sending all their troops down towards the front, that'd be hilarious to just bribe away a stack.
Oh, wouldn't it be amazing? Get like a Mitsuke like in 52.
Just go, hello!
And then just use that stack. Just assume that we're not going to keep that stack and use it to just do as much damage as we can while we're down there. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Okay. So maybe let's run with this idea. How soon do you think we could get Mitsuke and enough ships to take them to places around the island?
4 turns for ships, 3 turns for Metsuke, I think. Our market's 2 turns or 1 turn.
Let me check, but I think I checked
Someone
the other
keep
day.
those.
Markets are actually 3 turns last I checked.
Okay, then it would be 4 turns
For
until we
both.
can do that.
All right, what about this? They're obviously going to be building ships. They're not dumb enough to underestimate the importance of the sea right here.
Yep.
However, I would think the majority of their shipbuilding is going to be taking place in the south. 90% of all battles in the Navy take place below the island, not above it. Because other than the trade lanes, what's above them to really fight over? At least, now, unless you guys have had different experiences. In my experience, I've almost never gotten to a battle north of the island.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Alright, so here's my thinking. We build ships, some ships, up north where there will be much less ship construction as quickly as we can, load some Metsuke on there as quickly as we can, and land people, say, territory 9 or 62 or somewhere around there.
11. Wait, which is their home territory? I always...
Kai, which is 38.
Yeah.
38.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the only thing that could counter that is if they think that we're going to go for Hunma, and then they might actually be building a navy up there. Or, you know what we could do, theoretically. Let's say we build a harbor in 57. No, let's try 55, right? We build a
Yes.
harbor in 55. 1, maybe 2 turns, we could hit 28.
We could.
Yeah.
Hit 28,
Yeah.
drop them off, and start running havoc right behind their enemy lines. Anything, I think, especially in the early game, while we're trying to build up our navy, we're trying to build up our front line, anything we can do behind their lines to force them to concentrate inwards as opposed to outwards will give us more time to prepare.
Yeah.
First few turns could determine the entire campaign.
Right.
Yes, they could.
So, why not something like this? And construction agents, tell me what you think about this. We launch a campaign to make Mitsuke's as fast as possible. You know what? We could even do this. We could launch a campaign to create Mitsuke's on the outer provinces, ninjas on the inner provinces, because we'll need both, obviously.
Yes.
But
Yeah, if we have
Mits-
ninjas. We
right,
can
like maybe
stop them.
anywhere we're making a port, we also try and make Metsuke, or as close to it as possible, so they don't have to travel. Then, as quickly as we can, within 5, 6, 7 turns, we send Metsuke north and south, as many as we can, to their lands as quickly as we can, and we send. I'm trying to think. What do you think would give us the best chances? Send multiple small ships in case some are taken out, or send one massive fleet with Mitsuke on board that one fleet? Because obviously it would be better to have, say, 5 ships that can all hit 5 different locations. But there's always the chance that they'll take one stack and take out all 5 of those ships in one turn.
I think that's up to this advisor of strategy. But
yeah. Well,
Actually, that would be more of the agents because we're not
True.
moving them with armies. Sure, we're using the Navy, but it's really what we're doing with agents.
True. I mean, I like the idea, but there is the worry that we're just going to lose everything we've made.
Well, we could do this advisor strategy. We could send scouts out to clear the way and say, we could even do it in the same 1 or 2 turns. Send a scout out, say, this way is clear. There is no way they can get ships to this point in this time. Send the Metsuke.
Yeah.
It'd be easy. I mean, Bokobaya are really cheap and build in 1 turn, so...
And then I would say, what do you say? Should we be going to try and hit right behind their enemy lines? Or, well, here's what we could do. We could say, we'll send out that scout. And then depending on what it's like, let's say we're in the north and they've got nothing up there. Well, hell, let's send Mitsuke to Province 62, Province 9, Province
Exactly.
45. If they've got stuff up there, then we just do a quick hop to, say, 28. Or
Yep.
even 10 if we have to.
Yeah, I
if
agree
they
with that.
didn't
Yeah.
have much up there and we could actually... Well, if we could just take away the Date territory, basically, and then block off that trade port, that's a bit of their economy gone. Maybe
That's true.
Briveway 45.
They don't have a trade port.
They don't? I thought they did.
Nope, we took the... Sorry, that was one change we had to do. No trade ports except for our static trade port.
Okay.
Okay.
But, still, if we wanted to get a foothold, that would be the place to do it, because we could only be attacked from one side.
Yep.
And that might actually be an idea, is try and bribe that territory, and then try and send a stack or something back there to hold it.
Yeah, we would... Well, we'll have some troops ready when the Metsuke gets done, so we'll be able to send like a half stack up there to help him out and just hold the territory for a while, or even just split them up and have them run around burning everything.
Right?
Well, maybe we can make monks, and they'll just incite revolt, so there'll be a bunch of rebel armies running around their backlines.
Well, the problem is, though, you got to remember that these are going to be level 1 agents. I've never seen a monk
Yeah.
inside a revolt without being high
True.
level.
We
Yes.
can put it in one of the... We can train them in a province that we have one of the holy sites in, so that they can be a higher level when we train them.
Mm-hmm.
But that
yeah.
will take a while.
Well, we have resources for holy sites. I don't know if we have anything built on them, though.
I think we do. Here, I'll check. Yeah, in Aki we have one, and
That might work.
Holy
Also-
side, I think I'd-
Also, we have to think, because I've never actually tried this with a... well, I probably have and just don't remember. With an untrained Metsuke, how easy is it to bribe in our city? Now, keep in mind, the city will have maybe 3 or 4 units in it. If that.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be expensive, but I think we could pull it off.
But what about the success ratio? Because if we can't succeed in bribing anything, we just wasted a bunch of Metsuke.
Yeah, that's part of why I suggested just parking it in the middle and
Wait.
bribing armies on the way.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, I was going to say, they're not going to be concerned with making agents, not too many agents, in the backfields. They're going to be concerned about making agents in the front lines.
yeah.
Yep.
So if we can park those Metsuke back a little further back, so what if they don't succeed this turn? They can try next turn and the next turn and just try and keep ahead of the agents. So they're sent to
Exactly.
go take them out. Gosh, and if we can just bribe 1 or 2 of their territories, 1 or 2 of their stacks, something to get them to concentrate on their own back door,
Yeah.
it'd be really helpful for us.
I could actually open up the front door and we might just be able to push into their territory with an army.
I would think, and Senelith, that would be your call, of course. We could do 2 things. Let's say we're successful there. Let's say we get them focusing inwards, and now we have an advantage. We could theoretically try and open their front door and push in, or just divert all we can to building naval power. Like, for example, we could stay on the defensive. Well, you know what, though? Honestly, at the beginning of the game, with the number of resources we have, we're probably going to be able to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, all the koku, all
Yeah.
of it.
I did my little numbers before this little session,
Mhm.
and 32 Yari Ashigaru and 14 Bo Ashigaru. I think that should be 13. We only have 13 forts, right?
Right.
Okay. Anyway, that should cost about 13,000. That's it for all those units. So
Well,
we're pretty much good.
are we under the impression, and this is obviously Tripap, your department, are we going to be building armies in every province we own?
That's assuming that every single province.
Right.
It's just to say that money isn't going to be a big problem
Right, definitely.
for armies yet. Once we start building massive armies of samurai, if we ever need to, then we might be worrying about that. But that's only 3,500 upkeep. So it's not even going to hurt our income that much.
Right. So basically, we're going to, for the first session, the first 5 turns, every province we own is going to be making troops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume, right? Every province that can make a port is going to be building a port.
Yes.
All right. So, here's a good question. What about research? What do we want to research? We have no Bushido research.
What?
As far as Bushido as far as that goes, I'd go straight for Way of the Spear because Naginatas are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As far as Chi goes, I don't know. That's
Well, no. Well, we have to
You
choose.
going-
First of all, do we want to keep doing cheat? Like, for example, we don't have the ability to make castles yet. Is this something we think we want off the bat as soon as possible, or are fortresses decent enough for now?
I think it's enough.
All right. So maybe
Yeah.
concentrate on Bushido.
Yeah.
All right.
So we can try to get fire arrows.
I was gonna say, especially if we're trying to get naval dominance, fire arrows are gonna be very important. At least I think. Again, naval combat, not my strong suit.
fire
Only
arrows
if we
are
had the black ship.
I know.
pretty much the most important thing to low budget naval fights. Because
yeah.
you can just make them rout with one volley. It's amazing.
Which, by the way,
set them on fire.
black ship is off limits, folks. Even if we
Oh.
capture it, we scuttle it. But come
Boo.
on,
Sad
I
face.
know.
come on.
It's
We
so
all
nice.
know that the campaign would be over.
Yes. Darn it, we can't just treat it like one of those things in the backdrop. It's there, but you just can't touch it.
You're
Yeah,
just
almost.
you're just assuming that we would get it. What if they got it? Then you'd be like, oh no.
Then we would kill it with Bokobaya.
Actually, it worked.
I suppose it could, but you guys have probably seen my one encounter with the black ship.
Uh,
Hell, you saw me try and use it and destroy my own general. Oh my god, what is he doing there? Doesn't he know there's cannons? So, okay, one thing we should also figure out is how we're going to do this turn-by-turn thing, or this session-by-session thing. Are you guys all able to, say, write out a basic plan of what you want me to follow? That's the easiest way, so that Duke and I can go, okay, this is what they want us to do, let's do this.
time to hook up my printer.
How many turns
You don't have to
do you
print
want
it.
in advance?
I'm one of those people.
I believe Rebel and I are. We haven't decided the details yet. We're going to basically go for like 6 or 7. What was it? I think 6 turns or 2 hours, whichever comes first.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Okay. Because it won't be that long, and honestly, we all have to understand this is going to move at a very slow pace. But 6 turns is pretty decent because you start getting above 6 turns, it gets really hard for agents or for advisors to predict what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and 6 turns will work perfectly because we'll have 10-minute time limits per turn, and 2 hours, 10 minutes apiece. That's about 6 turns each, assuming there's no fights. So even if there are no battles, 6 turns should be right up our alley-ish. What we'll do is either we'll hit 6 turns in like an hour and a half, or we fight. Even if we fight a crap load of battles and only do 2 turns, if it's 2 hours, that's enough. We're just gonna call it quits. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
continue if Rebel and I decide to keep going, but we will never go more than 6 turns per session.
Okay.
All right.
So right now we need to concentrate the most on the first 6 turns, and if you guys can basically detailed as you want to be, but here's what I would need. I would need what you want built in what province, or for example, like construction. If you just want to say, I want every province to build this, or I want this, and this province to build that and this. I know there's 32 provinces, so that is a bit of work. There might be ways around it. Like if you don't care, like let's say you want Schmazu Island building this, but you don't care what province does it, just say so, and Duke and I will choose one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
But the more control you want, the more detailed I'll need to get it. Just tell me what you want built in what province, what you want built next. You know what I mean? Like after this is built, build that one. After that one's built, build this one. And then, of course, what units to make. That one will be really easy. You don't even need to cover that. For the first 6 turns, I pretty much assume we're going to be building Spear Ashigaru and Bow. Well, it will depend. I mean, once we get stables and stuff, you can start telling us if we want to build cav and stuff like that. Just so you know, both of you, strategy and construction, I generally work best with a mixed army. With infantry, cav, and archers all working together. I can obviously work with what I have, but generally speaking, to me, a good army is like 50% infantry, 30% archers, 20% cav. So if we had a full stack of 20 units, that'd be 10 infantry, 6 archers, 4 cav units.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
But for the time being, obviously, what would you guys say? At least the first 3 turns, it's going to be Ashigaru and Bowman.
Yeah.
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 And remember, we already have 9 Bowmen pretty much in the front 9 provinces. I think there's 1 there that doesn't have one. And that's it.
And our territories aren't mad if we take those guys out, right?
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
Our
good, then
territories,
we
every
could-
single one, all the 9 archers were there for his territories because his territories mad at him. All of our territories were green except for 1, I think, that was yellow with no units in it, other than just
Nice.
what the garrison gave them. So that actually does give us a slight advantage. We can remove those units. He can't. Which, we didn't think about that. So good job it fell on our side.
Yep.
Do we want to make an assault with those units, like maybe in the first 3 turns, before he can get a lot out?
They're only Bow Ashigaru, right?
Yeah, they're just bowmen.
They're
Yeah, but
really
we can
bad
still
at
trash.
sieges, so we can just trash their land, I guess.
We could do that. We could just withdraw those 9 units and then just start in the first 2 turns or whatnot, start sieging their stuff.
Yeah.
No production on the first front provinces.
That would be amazing.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Actually, yeah. You know what? I'm all for that. We didn't actually say that was not something we specified we could or could not do. And theoretically, I was thinking, man, is that too much of an unfair advantage? But theoretically speaking, he could do the same thing. All he would have to do is exempt them from taxes that 1 turn. It's not like it would hurt him that much, and he could do the same thing. So sure, why not? We've got to have an advantage somewhere, right?
Yes.
So let's exploit it.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll strategy. If you can draw up plans for that, who you want to hit where. I believe the only province that doesn't have a bowman is either 65 or 30. One of those 2 does not have a bowman.
Okay.
But everyone else does. So, yeah, I mean, we could just throw them out there and start raiding the territory because they got nothing they can hit us with. That'll be great.
If we could... If 65 has 1, then we can actually, I'm pretty sure, from the fort, reach 63 and 20, so on the very first turn they won't have any production in 2 of their territories.
Now, when we say
think.
production, we mean just lay siege to their capital? Or
Yep, just
Yeah.
lay siege to the fort. Even if they march out, it shouldn't let them build anything,
That's
or it
true.
won't make progress on the buildings.
That is true.
I'll have to look at... I'll actually have to go in-game and see if actually burning some land, some kind of resource would be better, but I think that
Well,
would be good.
here's a question. Does burning resources drain movement points? Because theoretically, we could burn the resources and siege the building.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
We
I
just-
don't think burning buildings takes your resource points. Movement
Okay.
points, Oh
So, oh my god.
I
We
know
could sit there-
sabotaging buildings if you're an agent takes your movement points, but not if you're an army, I don't think.
We could sit there and just freeze their first 4 provinces for at least a turn.
At
Yep.
least.
And theoretically, I mean, what are their options? Their only options are to, what, try and march out and fight one archer unit versus another archer unit? We could just retreat and then siege it again next turn.
Oh god, this is great.
And their only options are to sit there and take it or exempt them from taxes and have much less income than we do. They can take that, but that means that sooner or later they're going to run out faster.
Yeah, even if it's just by a turn or two.
I love it. You guys are geniuses.
Oh god, that's great.
Okay, so we'll say that we will do our best to freeze their first front 4 provinces with our one-man armies. Brilliant! Oh my gosh. Now imagine, yeah, and then that would force them to try and bring units up as fast as possible as they could there. And
Allowing
Means
us-
it'll make our Metskai's job easier once they get back there.
exactly, because they'll be trying to bring forces up as quickly as possible, which means they won't be hanging around back there. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so let's try and let's first of all let's recap and see if we got a sound strategy for the first 6 turns. We start building everything, but up north, especially, and probably south too, we start building ports and Metskei. On the inner islands, like say 49, 56, 43, or whatnot, we start building ninja. What about monks? Do you have plans to make monks?
Yes, we could make monks. They're not the best early game, but seeing as we have so much money and we're going to be getting armies so quickly, I figure it's probably a good idea if we do get monks.
Did you guys burn down the fort? I mean, not the fort. The temple that was in. What was it? Bungo?
I believe so. Pretty much if it could be... Oh,
Okay. Because they were Christian and they needed to be converted.
right.
Which means we might start with a Buddhist temple.
We should probably, if we have that, we should probably burn it.
Fair enough.
Because that would be an unfair start. So start, well... Or at the very least, you know what, instead of burning it, because that's just counterproductive, let's just say that we're building that there, that however many turns it would take to build it, and not actually start using it until we would have built it.
Okay, so
Because-
we can't use it for 2 turns.
Right, because that if it's still there, that's simply an oversight on my part, and I don't want to win this through excessive cheating.
Yeah. Excessive
Through
cheating.
excessive cheating.
A little cheating here and there, not too much of a big deal. But
Well, no, because I'm actually saying that our plan for freezing their provinces is kind of sitting a little bit sour in my stomach, simply because he can't really do the same. But that's not cheating so much as we never talked about it.
Yeah.
Never said we couldn't. And theoretically, if he was willing to exempt them from their taxes, they could do the same.
yeah.
Does he have, like, all of his stuff on very high taxes? I'm guessing you both have
No.
it all on very high.
No, we all
No.
are on normal taxes.
Oh,
Oh.
We don't have anything on very high taxes.
that's interesting.
I
So,
actually
yeah.
never changed taxes in that game.
Oh.
Yeah, so we could have feasibly higher income once we get units there to suppress things. So,
Wonderful.
yeah. So wait, what am I thinking? Okay, so our overall basic strategy: try and freeze their front provinces with our archer units. Build up as many units as we can as quickly as possible. Now, these units that we're building up, are we going to be moving them all to the front as fast as we can? What are we doing with them?
Like I
do you
did
want-
in the test,
Mhm.
since we're going to be using the islands as cash cows, I don't know if we really... Well, it doesn't take up space. Agent. Yeah, we should probably move it to the front if we're just going to take the seas as fast as possible, because then we can just make a naval blockade and have our front line really fortified.
Well, when I say cash cows, I don't think that we need to worry about that at first. We have money. And while we should make it to where they are our cash cows, I think at the beginning it might be better to concentrate on building nothing but military-related equipment Until we start hitting, maybe we only have 50,000 left. Let's start worrying about building up our income.
I was just thinking stupidly that we should leave garrisons there so that we could increase their taxes there, and then I realized this isn't medieval too. We can't individually change their taxes.
Right. Nope, you can change everyone's or no one's. But now here, what I'm thinking is, are we going to be like, for example, turn 1 we build our Spear Arshigaru. Turn 2 I start heading them up, or do you want me to wait and collect a few before we start moving stacks?
Are you talking about the individual ones or actually the whole armies?
Well,
Stacks?
the individual, like let's say, province 4 makes a Spear Arshigaru in turn 1. Turn 2, what does that Spear Arshigaru do?
I would move them all up.
So we'd move them all up as soon as we get them to get. So basically, we'll have a stream of 1 units going.
Yeah, I think if they're going to be moving up all their troops like that, then we don't want them with a really strong front line and us collecting stacks at the back.
Agreed. So, basically, we have the Mitsuke plan, which, Annex, I pretty much leave to you for the details of how you want to execute that. Just give me the plan, I'll follow it.
Okay. I'll work on that.
We have the Archer plan, which we pretty much, again, Sinaleth, I will do my best to get you exactly which provinces have it, because there's one there that doesn't. I will get that to you as soon as possible, and I will leave the details of how to do that to you. And of course, Trip App, what we're building, just give me a list as simple as you can, because I don't want you to have to spend hours and hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, Duke, you and I we're going to be at the helm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab the life jackets.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hold on tight.
So this overall strategy should definitely carry us through the first 6 turns. Also, if you guys can start thinking of contingencies, I think the contingency things is going to be more mine and Duke's department, because you have to react when it happens.
Yeah.
So Duke, what I think that your and my job should be while they're making these plans is to just try and think of every conceivable scenario that could happen and what we should do in that scenario.
I've already started.
Good. Me too. And then I think that should be it for the first 6 turns. Is there anyone else that needs to bring up anything? Has anything they want to cover? Anything at all?
We should take Kyoto.
We can't take Kyoto.
It's just this mountain. What is this Kyoto you speak of?
You mean
we
Mount
should take
Kyoto?
the mountain and make a city inside of it.
You mean Mount Kyoto? We should secretly make a trade agreement with them.
Not like they're gonna notice that right away. What? Nothing?
What? Damn it! No, that's the computer lies.
It's lying. We're not making 500 koku off of them. No. Honest.
Lies.
Scouts honor.
Anything else that we have not thought about or discussed? Any concerns?
I don't think so.
To make the markets, you need to take 1 food, I think. So I don't know how much food we had to start off with, but
We have +7.
okay. So we can make 7 markets, so we can make 7 Mitsuke turn. Well,
Right, and we can also
5 is the agent limit.
Oh.
So 5's the region limit, and we're good. And plus, we can start building extra farms the second we start. So within 4 or 5 turns, we'll have all the food we need. And if 5 is the limit anyway, then we're good. What about ninjas? Do we know 5 there too?
Ninja Sakudens don't take food.
No, but I mean, how many ninjas can we make?
Oh, all agents are 5.
Oh, okay. So we can never have more than 5 agents, no matter how big our territory.
We can never have more than 5 of each.
Oh. Well,
So we can have 5 monks, 5 Metsuke, and 5 ninja.
That'll make.
Well, maybe
things
we should
simple.
hold a Metsuke back just in case they want to do the same thing to us by bribing a bunch of settlements. So
That
we
is
can try to stop
true.
them.
Maybe we should. You know what? Let's be safer. Well, Annex, I don't know. You feel safer like leave 3 Metsuke back, send 2, or send 3 and leave 2?
You know, I think sending 2 should be enough.
Right.
Unless they really, like, if they left, say, I don't know, like, all their most of their units back to defend, which I don't think they're going to do. I think they're going to be a little more aggressive than that. I think we should be fine just sending 2.
And maybe send a couple ninjas with them as well to sabotage armies.
Well, we could send 2 and a ninja. Or
Yeah.
2
Because
and
what I was
2.
thinking is the ninja, I mean, you know what? If we can throw some ninja back there too and just sabotage their stacks as they try and move up, the longer it takes them to get a front line developed, the better off we are.
We could go with 2 Mitsuke, 2...
Ninja, and then
Ninjas.
leave. Yeah, and then, like, say, I guess 3 ninja on the front lines to try and wreak
Yeah.
havoc there. 3 Metsuke, I would say, disperse throughout our lands.
Yep.
And then monks we'll worry about when we get to. I'm not sure. What do you think, Annex? Do you think we need Metsuke on the islands right now? I think the islands are hard enough to get to at the moment that we shouldn't worry about them in the first 6 turns.
I wouldn't be worrying about the islands in the first 6 turns, especially since we're probably going to have naval power very quickly off, seeing as not only do we have, well, I guess not only, but really we have the advantage at sea with our better ships.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to have to worry about sea battles or invasions from, or even just them dropping spies on our islands. So
Okay.
I would say just focus on the main land with agents.
Okay. So that's basically it for the first 6 turns. What else are we missing? There's got to be something we're not thinking of.
Did we cover what arts we were gonna get?
I believe
Wade the spear.
Trip out.
Way of the
That's up
Spear.
to you. But yeah, Way of the Spear is it seems like the best just all around. We're gonna have nothing but spearmen to start off with anyway. Might as
And
well
they're
give them
gonna
a
be-
plus.
Yeah, and they're gonna be going for horses, seeing as that's their advantage. So
Right.
it's better to
You know
have
what? They
better
might
spear.
actually be going for spears at first too, just simply because even though horses are their advantage, they don't have the ability to produce them right now.
But
True.
if they go for Yari, Naginata beat Yari.
Yeah.
If they go for swords, katanas, then Naginata can hold against katanas and Yari can flank and kill them.
Right. So, and honestly, I would think that now our idea is we get spears and then we start working on fire arrows as soon as possible.
Yeah.
My thinking is that our naval superiority should give us the advantage we need at the beginning of the game, and then our fire arrows should give us all that we need, hopefully. Okay then. What I'll do is if there's any other questions whatsoever, guys, if I'm on Skype, hit me up. If any other questions, I think PMing through YouTube is probably the best way. I thought about making private forums, but the problem is I'm an administrator, which means I could theoretically go watch Rebels forum, and that's just not cool. I don't even want the temptation. No, I mean, it wouldn't tempt me because I love the idea of the challenge, but I don't want the insinuation that I have been or could be.
Yeah.
So let's leave it to PMs through Skype and YouTube. If you have any questions whatsoever, and it doesn't matter if it's your field or not, you know, and by all means, I think that you guys should probably trade PMs with each other and go, hey, look, I thought of this. What do you think? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I believe our first session will be this Saturday, maybe Friday or Saturday. So try and get me the plans by then.
Okay.
And then what we'll try and do is, as soon as we can after that session, I will have it either uploaded privately to YouTube or I was thinking, Duke, maybe you could like stream it to a. Well, theoretically, here's something we could do. Duke, if you have the capability, you could stream it to a channel that the other team doesn't know of. We just make some channel, you stream it, and then everyone, like you other three, could actually watch in real time.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
If you guys are free at the time, or if not, you can just watch the recorded video whenever you are free.
Yeah,
and
I think that would be good because we could be in the live stream chat feeding info if we wanted
sadly,
to.
can't. That's like
Can't?
that's one
That
of the
would be
rules. Is that
cheating.
No
Yeah.
illegal coaching. No illegal coaching.
only the aide and the shogun.
Yeah,
that's
that makes
why
sense.
I have an aide. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But what it does mean is that immediately after, but basically we'll have the entire week to start making plans instead of 5 days because it took 2 days for you guys to be able to see it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I would say go with the live stream if you can do that.
we shall try that, and then until then, everyone, good luck, and may the Waddling Ducks reign supreme.
Rain terror from the seas.
Yeah.